welcome on board Mahantesh Sabarad as well. And Mahantesh, hi, afternoon. After the demerger of Tata Motors, it seems that it could be the Tata Sons IPO up next.
I'm not too very sure about the Tata Sons IPO. In my experience in the markets, something similar used to be quoted way back in 2007, 2008, thereabouts, about Tata Sons getting listed and so on and so forth. We have heard enough such stories, and I would like to right now disbelieve it the first instance unless I really see a proper document getting filed. I feel that this is a bit of speculation that a lot of market participants keep doing periodically. It goes back many years, so I would like to discount it at this juncture.
For now, you're not building in the case of Tata Sons IPO anytime soon. But what about Tata Motors and the news flow that we are seeing on that one?
Tata Motors is concerned, this whole scheme of arrangement, which will eventually mean two companies will be born, the Tata CV business, whatever the name they may choose tomorrow, and the Tata PV business. One thing is clear that the current shareholder will actually get more liquidity as we go forward. There will be two more shares that will be available, two more listed entities will be there, but effectively for a current shareholder, it will mean two more shares. It's akin to a bonus share, it's akin to a stock split where there is no value that gets created overnight, but the overall liquidity infusion could mean better valuation ahead. But there are gray areas in that scheme of arrangement. We still have unanswered questions about certain major subsidiaries of Tata Motors, such as Tata Motor Finance, there is Tata Daewoo Korea, there are these foreign subsidiaries in Thailand and so on and so forth. So we really don't know how this scheme of arrangement will eventually pan out. And let's not also forget that the Tata Motor EV business, which has been recently formed as with TPG infusing funds into it, and will create its own drag on the shareholder value creation ahead for the current shareholders, because TPG will eventually get some shareholding in the new listed yeah, CV, yeah, PV business, which would mean a little value erosion for the current shareholders.
Right, okay, that's the take coming in on Tata Motors. In the meantime, there you go. That's that exclusive that we've all been waiting for on your screens. Come tomorrow at 3:30. You can hear out the RBI governor live and exclusive right here on ET Now as well as ET Now Swadesh. That's a lot of talking points, not just about India's bond inclusion now into the Bloomberg Emerging Market Pack, but a lot about liquidity, which way they actually see the economy headed, etc., is going to be one key talking point, and whether the chatter for a rate cut is getting stronger, or would the RBI be on hold for some more time to come, at least indications of which we will try and gather in this interview. But that said, let's just take stock of what the market as well is settling in at for the day. It's been quite a sideways kind of session. Sure enough, we've had those jagged edges, but we've largely consolidated. 22,457 thereabouts is where we are shutting shop for the Nifty futures. RBL Bank, Bajaj Finance, Piramal Enterprises, Bajaj FinServes. This entire chunk is the one which is really getting clobbered right now. And after that, Voltas as well, even though it was a buzzer all through last week, that's seeing some profit taking come by. That stock is sharply lower by about 3.6% as we speak right now. Technology, of course, as a basket, is also in the red. Steel for a second consecutive day after that CLSA downgrade coming in. That's also seen some weakness spelling in. And ICICI Bank, Kotak, Axis, they're also not quite supportive of the markets this afternoon. But Naresh, if I could just quickly get in your comments on the charts of Reliance as well as L&T, considering these have been the key sort of supports for the index. You think some consolidation could be herein on the cards from for these two names?
So Reliance Industries has been slowly and steadily trending up rather than a very spiky move. So it's been a very slow move from 2,800 to 3,000 odd levels. The stock still looks positive. Ideally, should see another spike up to 3,200, and then maybe a major pause could be in the making. Similarly, L&T went through that correction also from 3,700, and went to 3,300, recovered back. So some bit of a pause around 3,700, 3,750. And then if it crosses 3,750 after a few weeks, then it should be a further momentum move. So for now, on dips to 3,500, L&T is a buy. Reliance remains a buy at current levels. Could head up towards 3,200, 3,300 in the short term.
Point taken. So that's the view coming in on some of these other heavyweights. But just taking a look at Westlife again, because that stock is now higher by 8%. The last time we had flagged it, it was up around 4%. Because remember that stock had seen a bit of a drawdown after there were reports that there's an issue with the quality of cheese which is being used at some of their outlets in Maharashtra. Now it seems like FSSAI, the food security body, has actually done its survey and given the clean chit to the company. So that stock is holding up with a gain of around 8%. Kunal, if I can ask you the view on Westlife, and the other one I'd want to discuss is, of course, IFL Finance. On the charts, it's down 20%. But what I mean to ask you is, at what value or at what price do you think you should be a buyer in IFL Finance, if at all?
So Westlife, I would believe that this is a very strong candlestick at play, because the stock is showing those classical signs of bottom formation in terms of volumes, and prices over the last 1 week had been a bit more stagnant at the 720, 725 mark. Today it's come back to that 790, 795 levels, on the verge of breaking past over the 800 mark for Westlife, which means that the base of 720 mark could now be a more formidable base for the stock price. The only concern with the chart pattern or the overall market or the current market outlook is that the stocks which are seeing such kind of sharp up move, they generally don't get to see a follow through immediately over the subsequent next 1 or 2 days. I think that's something to watch out for. So in case if the stock retraces back again, and assuming if it comes back to say 750, 755 mark and doesn't fall below that 750 levels, then we can establish that this could be a strong price volume candlestick, and maybe the texture of the stock has changed from being on a downtrend to now starting to get into a slow, steady and a gradual uptrend for itself. So that's something to watch out for. Hopefully in the next couple of days we'll get more clarity in terms of how the stock retraces in case if it does. IFL Finance, on the other hand, I think after this 20% down move for the stock, and throughout the day the stock, which has been down 20% right from the open, it's come back towards a major breakdown point. I think if I'm not wrong, it's come back towards the April or the August highs for itself. That indicates that the stock is showing fresh signs of breakdown. So I would probably wait out for a point when the circuit actually opens up, normal trading window opens, and I think that's where we could probably establish that maybe the stock has come back towards a good support point. As of now, I would believe that it's more of a wait and watch.
Right, okay, that's the take coming in on IFL Finance. Hasn't seen any sign of a recovery come by. But a lot of other volume buzzers, let's address those. Ansh is here with the list.
Right, so Tata Chemical will be the first stock in focus today, as the stock has given a significant move of over 5% as we speak. As you can see in the chart, stock seems to have given a good breakout from its double bottom chart pattern, which was intact for almost a month. The stock has also surpassed about 50, 100 and 200 DMA altogether in one single session, with heavy volume of over 11x as we compare, if we compare it with last 10 session average volume. Turning our focus to Union Bank, stock has given a breakout from its reverse head and shoulder chart pattern, touching its 6-year high level as well today, advancing for 5th consecutive month as we speak. Moving on to Bharti Airtel. If you see the chart of Bharti Airtel, stock seems to have given a good breakout, a decisive breakout from its horizontal resistance zone, touching 1-month high level, registering its biggest single session gain in almost 3 months, keeping the sentiment positive.
Okay, that's the buzz coming in on all the buzzers in trade, and clearly Bharti one amongst that. You've got good traction coming in for Motherson Sumi. There's IGL, which is perked up about 3%, and Tata Chemicals is sitting right on top there with a near about 6% move. But besides being known for its heritage and culture, India is also famous for producing beauty queens on international platforms. And unless you're living under a rock, you would know that the prestigious Miss World pageant is going to be held on 9th March in India this time. In fact, on ET Now Hangouts, my colleague Ankita Saxena spoke with India's representation to Miss World 2023, Sini Shetty, Femina Miss World 2022, and she told us about her investment choices and a lot more.
Sini, you spoke about how you've been through different facets of your life, being an accounting student, and you were also preparing for your CFA, right, to become a financial analyst. And ET Now, of course, is a business news channel. So I can't help but ask you, do you invest? And if you do, then how do you like to invest your money? For the young viewers, we always encourage them to invest. So tell us what are your areas of investment or what fascinates you?
When it comes to investments,
Yeah.
I am a balance between modern transactions and old money.
Okay.
I believe that for youth especially,
Yeah.
safe investments like mutual funds, bonds,
Yeah.
are very important, and I'm
Yeah.
someone who really believes in it.
Yeah.
But I'm also someone who believes in old money, because something that comes from my family, this is something very traditional.
Okay.
I still remember being 4 and my mom gifted me my first bracelet, gold
Yeah.
bracelet, and she told me that this has a lot of value, and this is an investment.
Okay.
And you should take it ahead. So I
Yeah.
think I found my balance between both of it.
So you like
And
gold, investing
I
in
like
gold?
gold investments.
Yeah.
I'm looking into real estate opportunities
Right.
as well. But at
Yeah.
the same time, safe investments like mutual funds,
Yeah.
FDs, bonds. Today's youth has now taken me to a new direction,
Yeah.
into stocks. I know that coming from a place where safe investments are necessary.
Yeah.
This is something that I do after proper knowledge,
Yeah.
after the proper research.
We won't let you go just like that. We'll play a quick rapid fire round with you. Your guilty pleasure.
My guilty pleasure would be rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine for the 100th time.
Your pet peeve.
My pet peeve is seeing an untidy room. I cannot. I will leave everything and I will clean that room.
Okay. What motivates you?
Just seeing myself stand at the same place every year.
Okay. And the best advice you ever received?
The best advice I've ever received is from my mom, that never look back. If you've chosen a direction, move forward and achieve whatever you want.
What is that one trait that defines you?
Happy-go-lucky girl.
Finally, what is that one quality you think will make you win Miss World title?
Humility.
In terms of the other stocks which are in focus, just wanted to highlight RBL Bank. That's seen a drubbing quite a bit. That's down 7%. And Piramal Enterprises is the other one which is coming up on my radar. That's down 5%. Bajaj Finance has taken a huge knock of 4.5%. Even Bajaj Finserv, of course. Naresh, come in quickly on the charts of Bajaj Finance, Piramal Enterprises and RBL Bank.
So a lot of NBFCs have taken a knock today, and Bajaj Finance out of them has been anyways in the downtrend for quite some time. Multiple tops around 8,000, the recent lows of 6,800 broken. So ideally, the stock should slowly and steadily head up towards 5,700. That would be the view. And a stop loss now would be at 6,600. So technically a weak one. Piramal Enterprises, on the other hand, was actually coming into a breakout zone, and today is where it has made a big reversal itself. So would be an avoid. So shorting on Bajaj Finance on any rise is the trade out of the whole sector.
Right, okay, that's the take coming in on Bajaj Finance, seeing quite a bit of drubbing. Meantime, some comments coming in from Vijay Shekhar Sharma as well of Paytm. Hasn't seen any resurrection, that stock for sure. But in the meantime, this Piramal Enterprises as well, which is sharply lower today, about a 4.5% downtick is where it's currently at. There's Voltas as well, down about almost 4%. Technology, of course, has continued to see a dropping. There's L&T, which is down, Unilever, which is down. Same is the case with, I think, a Nestle as well. And then, of course, Asian Paints too has languished quite a fair bit. That's also down about almost 0.5%. Adani names, they too under pressure, both enterprises as well as ports. Mahantesh, I think we've discussed this earlier, but just wanted to analyze what you make of the paint segment right now with Grasim's entry, their plant getting inaugurated now. And what would it mean for Asian Paints, which does have the lion's market share and premium valuation clearly?
Is the first thing to take a knock is the market shares will start getting readjusted. Asian Paints has been now facing a lot of competition from new entrants. It's not just Grasim alone. We also have JSW Paints in the picture, and I'm sure that tomorrow there'll be other companies who will start coming in the paint sector. So the first thing that takes a knock is obviously market share. Premium valuation is of course dependent on how they will be able to maintain their margins and growth ahead. Growth could be subdued, but if there's margin expansion because they have premiumization of their products, then we could perhaps see that value erosion or market valuation erosion could be limited. Having said that, I think the future doesn't seem to be very good for all the paint companies given all this competition that we are seeing, because there is a limited market, or it may be growing, but that growth available now for entrenched players will be limited.
Let's see what happens of the paint sector going forward. But let's take a breather and actually run you through some of the commentary that we got this morning. So we spoke with a whole host of managements of the stocks which are buzzing around, whether it's Inox for that matter, Infibeam for that matter. We of course also locked into the con calls of Z Entertainment as well as IFL Finance. We'll do one thing. We'll run you through all of those bites as to what these managements are saying.
We are the most competitive suppliers of wind turbines, but we are, while we are ramping up very aggressively, we are also what I would call cautiously building the business, where we are scaling up from, say, 500-600 crores of top line to 4,000-6,000 crores of top line to more as we move forward. But we focused on multiple things over the past 12 months, as you know, on technology, on fixing the balance sheet, on the management team, on getting the entire supply chain ready. So I think we will possibly may keep upgrading our guidances as we move forward, but I think we're doing it. We would rather under-promise and over-deliver than the other way around.
It's a matter of time where how we can grow more faster, right? So from 4.7 lakh crores to taking it up to around 5.5 is the immediate goal. We have more focus right now on the front side, that is building the platforms that merchants want, that they can be onboarded easily. The payments part is what we're already doing very well, which we got this aggregator license. From a payment aggregator perspective, as a merchant, you would like to offer all kinds of payment options.
We are expecting a high demand and good supply of power in the country, because country has added generation capacity, almost about 20,000 megawatt was added in the last year, and there is comfortable fuel supply scenario. Gas prices also have come down, so I'm sure the gas generation also will be available. So we expect a good volume growth in the next year. We expect the prices to be slightly, in fact, lower than this, because fuel supply is much better. Gas prices have come down. So overall, the prices are expected to be lower.
The board has been debating. We are yet to form a view. But I would say that we need to consider various factors which are there in the domain of our thinking. Basically, I would say that, we are putting through a revival process, and it requires tremendous amount of focus, knowledge of the company, what it did in the past.
Right, okay, that's a slice of all the conversation that we've had and the managements that we've been speaking to with sensitive stocks. Settling in pretty much status quo as we were just about half an hour back or so. Down a little bit soft, 22,352 is where we're shutting shop for the day, nearabouts. But Kunal, in specific, the weakness that's happening currently on some of these financial names, Bajaj Finance, Piramal, and I would add an RBL Bank also to that.
Yeah, so I think it's very specific towards a certain set of stocks, because Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, RBL Bank, Bandhan Bank, many of these stocks, they were already going through a sharper correction for themselves. In fact, many of these stocks like Bajaj Finance, etc., have been trading below their 200-day moving averages since the last 1.5 odd month. So there was a bounce into these stocks in the last 15 days or so, but those bounce got sold into, and these stocks have gone back into making new swing lows for themselves. But interestingly now for Bajaj Finance, I would actually believe that the stock has come back towards closer to an oversold nature in terms of indicators. So what this could probably do is that maybe it could, the stock could now get into a zone of more of a consolidation rather than a sharp correction. Only traders, I think, which have a longer term time horizon and are looking to buy the stock at classic risk rewards. I think at current levels of 6,300, Bajaj Finance could offer a good risk reward play as such to go for a contra long. But the two factors which are actually very positive about the overall markets, One is that the India VIX has now dropped back again lower to 14.3 levels. And I think just about last week or so, end of last week, we were closer to 16.1 for India VIX. So that's a very strong change, positive change for the market in terms of sentiment. And the other is the Bank Nifty premium, which was early in the morning closer to 250, 260 points. That's now jumped to almost 320 points, which means traders are carry forwarding long positions for the Bank Nifty, even if it's a BTST play.
Okay, that's the latest coming in on some of those big movers. But Mahantesh, on that note, we let you go. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us today. Lots happening in the market, with the latest being at the bottom of your screen. Yesterday, remember, BHL had come out with a clarification that they hadn't received any such award from Singrauli, but now it's official that they have backed this order. The total value is around 9,500 crore rupees, and that's the reason after that 13% uptick that the stock had seen yesterday, that stock is reacting high by around 2.5%. We'll go to my colleague Lisa as well to try and understand what is the story with the BHL and what's happening there. But before that, let me take it across to Sharad, and Sharad will join us to talk to us about the dealing room chatter, and then we'll get Lisa along to talk to us about BHL. Sharad, tell us what the latest dealing room chatter is like.
In focus is RBL Bank, and what the dealing room chatter is that there's a block deal likely expected to happen for RBL Bank. It's expected that the selling price could be in a discount ranging between 235 to 245 rupees per share, and it's likely that the buyer would be a large financial institution. Apart from this, if you look at the stock itself also, the stock has fallen. Volumes have actually picked up almost 2 times its 20-day average, and the stock has snapped its 4-day gaining streak as well. We did check some numbers from the Bloomberg as for the analyst stake, and we are having almost 65% of the 23 analysts tracking the stock still having a buy rating, but the 12-month target price, that's coming at roughly 273 rupees per share, indicating roughly 3 to 4% of upside potential.
Okay, time now for a quick BTSC take. Naresh?
So
Naresh,
continue
BTSC
like
trades.
IndusInd Bank. Yeah, so that would be a buy on IndusInd Bank, which is showing a breakout stop loss at 1525, target price of 1580. Second is a triangle breakout on Bharti Airtel, stop loss at 1158, target price of 1200.
What about you?
So I'll go with 2 buy calls. The first one is actually by Engineers India. That stock looks attractive. It's formed a cup and handle pattern on the charts. Targets of 255, stop loss at 225. And second would be a buy on Biocon, expecting the stock to get into a very strong revival. Strong support closer to 277, 278 mark for Biocon. So would suggest a buy with a target of 305, stop loss at 270.
Okay, but before we just wrap up, I wanted to just quickly talk about a latest exclusive that Sumit Chaturvedi had, and he talked about how Japan Sumitomo Wiring Systems is likely to sell stake in Samvardhana Motherson Sumi, and that's why they are expecting a block deal soon. The stake sale could be to the tune of 4,500 crore rupees. Remember, Sumitomo Wiring holds around 14% stake in Samvardhana Motherson, and there might be a bit of an offloading there of stake, and the stake sale could be as large as 4,500 crore rupees. So just wanted to highlight that, Aisha, before we wrap up for the day.
Oh yeah, and it's been quite a buzzer today. 4.5% higher on futures, 5.6% higher on the spot. But it's going out okay today. It's been one of those quiet days, and that's pretty okay considering how fabulous the week gone by was. And I don't think the headline number in any case would give you any reason to complain. Yes, we came in with that 22,500 print. From there, we're definitely a little bit off. Remains the same texture pretty much. Bajaj Finance, Finserv, TCS, Infosys, Nestle, Britannia, Unilever, LTIM, all weighing heavy on the index today. L&T, Reliance, Axis, Kotak, ICICI Bank as well have closed in the red. But that's not quite been the case for Tata Motors, which shut shop a good 3.25% higher, or for that matter, Bharti, Bajaj Auto, SBI was clearly powering ahead, and ONGC got its mojo back. It's closing in at the session highs, a solid 1.5% up in the green. In fact, the rest of the auto pack as well did pretty okay. Maruti, M&M, Eicher, they were all gainers today. Surprising to see that at a time when Kotak, Axis, ICICI Bank did nothing, it was actually HDFC Bank which pulled through, and along with IndusInd is one of the top nifty banking names, held out around that 1439 odd mark in trade. From within the liquid universe, Vedanta shot up, Tata Chem as well, held out by about almost 6 odd percent. And then, of course, on the flip side, there was pressure coming in from Piramal Enterprises, Voltas, as well as RBL Bank too. So that's pretty much it. That's how the closing has been, and we'll catch you again with all the market action tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.